Hey, what's up, everybody? Just a sec. Let me get the... I always, like, close the dock that lets me see the chat. And I always forget how to bring it back. Because I'm stupid. Well, where is it? Where is it? Come on. Come on. Tools. Docs. YouTube Live. Chat. There we go. Chat. Close. Whatever. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're doing good. Let me just check. Alright, I think we're good. I'll wait for people to... I'm not going to wait for people to trickle in. What am I doing? What am I talking about? I'm just going to start playing. Alright, so, as you guys join, let me know if you could hear things and everything like that. But, hey, how's it going? Ass-teasingly. I love the username. Excellent stuff. Hello, as a social deduction game, I want to play this for myself before I watch, but have fun. Absolutely valid. Yeah, it's pretty sick so far. I like it a lot. It's like in playtest right now, but it looks like it has a lot of, like, potential, you know? So, yeah. Hi, first time catching you live. I got this game after seeing your video last night. Hell yeah, dude. No, it's pretty sick. I'm looking forward to the full release, but, I want to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to try out some more Endless Mode. So I kind of tried out Endless Mode. Did like 3 in a row. But it seems like it's a little bit more complicated than the standard version. So I want to give it a whirl for like, I don't know, maybe an hour or two. I'm just hopping on here. It's not going to be a super long stream, you know, but it should be fun. Also, can you guys hear the desktop audio? I'm just trying to make sure. Because last time I streamed when I was coding, you guys couldn't hear anything going on the desktop. So I'm trying to make sure that that's all good. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to start. You guys let me know if there's anything, wrong with the audio. Let's get into Endless Mode, baby. Here we go. Alright, there are 3 evils among all characters. Find and kill them. We love to see it. Alright, so we got the Lilith, we have the Poisoner, and we have the Puppeteer. So there are going to be 4 evils there. Hey, how's it going, Plant-Bee? We got Plague Doctor. Can't hear anything but your voice right now. Okay. I hear it. Okay, so we hear the desktop audio. Not that it's really impressive for the game. You guys can't hear the desktop audio at all? Okay, I can hear the card SFX. Audio doesn't sound bad. Okay. Alright, whatever. I mean, it's not like, even if the audio wasn't working here for the game, it's not really, we're not losing much, okay? Because the OST is pretty bare bones right now for the playtest, it looks like. But hey, let's see. So we got the Lilith, we got the Poisoner, we got the Puppeteer. That means there's going to be 4 evils. And we got Plague Doctor, so that's a source of corruption with Poisoner right there. You got me addicted to this game, by the way. Absolutely. I've been addicted to this game as well. This is a lot of fun. And I will definitely be getting the full release. We got Dreamer, all this shit. Okay, so things we want to take into account. Baker makes that... So we want to basically reveal more good players, like confirmable good players, in order. So let's go ahead and do this. So let's start with number 1. We have Empress saying that 3... 5 or 9 is evil. So what I want to do is, because the Lilith is going to kill, presumably a good player, I'm going to leave those ones unrevealed to see if they, like, shave down our options for who could be evil among these 3, assuming this is correct. So we're going to go with number 2 next, which is a Dreamer. Alright, we're going to go with number 4 next. So Baker's saying that they were the Alchemist. Right off the bat, that is a lie. Alright? The reason being is that if this was really the Baker, this Baker would say that they were like the original Baker, if they weren't lying, right? So we know right off the bat that that is a lie, but that could be due to the Plague Doctor corrupting them, or the Poisoner corrupting them, so I'm not going to execute them yet. But let's move on to number 6. Alright, so we have an Alchemist, we have a kill on number 8. Number 8 was not part of our lineup. Here we go. Why does lying come so easily to their forked tongues? Do you have at least a favorite card for me? It's drunk. Okay, got it. You guys are just chatting. Chit-chatting. Alright, so Alchemist is saying they cured 0 corruption. So these are directly at odds with each other. We don't know which one would be potentially evil there. Actually, no, okay. Something I figured out. if the alchemist says that they cured 0 corruptions, that means that this has to be true. Okay, the reason being is that, think about it, if the alchemist was corrupted, right, they couldn't cure anything, so if they said that they cured 0 corruptions, they would be telling the truth, right? So if the alchemist says I cured 0 corruptions, that means it necessarily has to be true, which means this alchemist has to be good, which means that because this baker is in the range of the alchemist... Also, I found out later, by the way, your score goes up more if you have more unrevealed characters. That means that this baker has to be evil. So let's go ahead and kill them. Alright, so this is the poisoner. So the poisoner's corrupting one of their 2 neighbors. We don't know which one yet because we haven't revealed them. But here we go. So let's keep going along here. And let's go to number 7. So Baker saying they were the hunter. That's another evil right there, because they're in the cure range of the alchemist. So that's a puppeteer right there. Now, what's interesting about this, actually, yeah, because this is a puppeteer, we don't know that this alchemist is good. We just know that they're not lying because of the fact that the puppeteer can turn a villager evil and they don't lie. This actually has to be the puppet. So right there, we got the puppet out of the way as well. The reason being is that number 8 was killed by the demon and didn't say anything, so that means that they, you know, had to be good, right? So we've got 3 of the evils killed already. That's pretty good. We just need the demon now. So, let's see. 3, 5, 9. All right. Let's see here. So, let's just reveal 3, I guess. Hunter saying I'm 4 cards away from the closest evil. Obviously a lie. That could be the corruption coming from the poisoner, though. So let me go ahead and just write that in. This is a lie. Could be corrupted, though, because that is outside of the range of this. I mean, not that the puppet could cure anybody anyway, right? But there you go. Let's go ahead and reveal number 5. Number 5 is a judge. Okay. Hey, Kissboy, nice to see you streaming again. Think you'll ever play Suck Up? It's a game I know you'll love. I think I remember you talking about that. You mentioned that, and I think I looked into it. It's the one where you're pretending to be a vampire and there's like AI and stuff, right? Yeah, AI vampire game. I'll have to look into that. That one looks pretty fun. I'll have to see. Because it's a local AI that's running, right? It's not like a fucking... It's not hooked up to Chat GPT or anything like that. I'm not trying to cause controversy with the... whatever opinions people have about AI. If it's a local AI, I'll look into playing it. Alright, if it's a local AI. No harm then, no harm. I'll look into it, I'll let you know. Anyway, here we go. So, we got 3, we got 5. Demon Bluff reminds me so much of Blood on the Clock Tower. It's basically like a 1-to-1 copy, it seems like. I mean, in terms of, like, the mechanics, right? I mean, obviously, the villagers are the townsfolk, the outcasts are the outsiders, minions are minions, demons are demons. You know, all that shit. But yeah, it's, whoever made this game definitely liked Blood on the Clock Tower, which... I love Blood on the Clock Tower, too, you know? Alright, let's go ahead and reveal the final card here. We have a Plague Doctor. Okay. No kill because we have all the cards revealed so far. Plague Doctor, we have Wretch as the other one. So, I mean, there could potentially be a Wretch or a Plague Doctor under here, double claiming this Plague Doctor, but it seems unlikely. What I'm going to do here is that this seems like a pretty strong case for a corruption right here in this Hunter, so I'm going to use the Plague Doctor to check that. They're saying the number 3 is corrupted and that number 6 is evil. So that confirms what we already know. So you're good. You're good. You know, obviously these are evil. Let's put X's there so we remember. And then we've got 3, 5, 9. So basically, if this is true, then this judge is evil. What I want to see is what the Dreamer says about the judge. Says that it could be the poisoner. So that's obviously... That's either that the judge is not evil, or this is a lie, right, from the Dreamer. So basically, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check the judge against an obvious lie. If the judge answers truthfully, then we know, I think, that it's probably the Empress in that case. Yeah, I think. Let me just check. Because, I mean, we don't want to use the judge on the Dreamer We don't want to use the judge on the Empress because they're already at odds. So I'm going to use the judge on the Hunter here, which is saying the truth, which is an obvious lie, so the judge is lying. So they're corrupted, though. So they were the ones that were corrupted by the Hunter. No, wait. So the Hunter is... Okay, the Hunter... Okay, so one of the judge and the Hunter was corrupted by the Plague Doctor. This is good. That means that this one's lying. So these are two corruptions here. This is the one from the Plague Doctor. This is... all checks out, so this one has to be the... there we go. That has to be the demon. There we go. Got it. Good stuff. Alright, let me go ahead and clear the board here. So we got the Puka, we got the Minion, Wretch, Bombardier, Plague Doctor, Scout, Empress, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So order kind of matters for the Baker, but we'll just kind of play it by ear as we're going through. Let's see. So number 1, Plague Doctor right here. We got number 2, we got Judge. Number 3, we got Empress. So 1, 4, or 6 is evil. So let's do 4. Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. Let's go to 6. Bombardier. Okay, so that's a conflict because there's nothing adding additional outcasts in play. So we have at least 1 evil between those two, right? So at least 1 evil between those two. This is saying Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. 1, 4, or 6. So this is true. Okay, here's the thing. Is the Empress, if they're lying, all characters that they point to are good. But we provably know that there's at least 1 evil between these two. Which means the Empress is telling the truth. Which means that they're good, right? So they're good. And there's only 1 evil between these two. So that means that the outcast is found. Fully accounted for. Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. Let's go to number 5 here. We got the Gem Crafter saying number 2 is good. And we'll go to this one. I was a scout, so that's definitely a lie, obviously, because this would have to be the starting Baker. We don't know if that's corrupted. Only be corrupted by the Plague Doctor, right? No, the Puka as well. Puka as well. What program do you use for writing on your monitor? Would be so useful in playing. I use a program called, like, Epic Pen. So far, it's been doing fine for me. They have, like, a free version and a paid version. I just use the free one, and it's been working fine. So I like it. Alright, so Baker is lying. And we flip this over, we got a Slayer. Okay, so we got a Slayer. So one of these two is evil. The Baker could be evil as well. What I want to check is use the Plague Doctor to check on the Baker to see if they're corrupted. And they're saying that they're not corrupted. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to... So Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil, meaning that they're neighbors. So it could be an evil pair right there, but then that would be causing a lie there. Okay, so let me try to show you what I'm talking about. Let's assume that, well, no, the Puka could be here, and then this could be this poisoning the Slayer. Minion there. This is good. This is true. 1, 4, 6. This is true. Minion is 1 card away from closest evil. That would be true. So I don't want to use the Slayer, I think, to kill the neighbor. Instead, I'm going to try to use the Slayer to kill the Bombardier. Which couldn't kill that. Okay. What I want to do next is check out if... I'm going to use the Judge here. And they're saying that this is a lie. Right there. Okay, so that's a lie. So let's start plotting this out. Let's figure out what's going on. So, Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. 1, 4, 6. So that's already accounted for here. Actually, I mean, this means that this one is good, right? So this is a good character because of this. But he's saying that they're lying. Which, let's assume that that's true, okay? Let's assume this is true, which would mean that this judge would have to be good, and then this would have to be a lie, right? But they're still good. So, that could be a corruption from the Plague Doctor, or it could be a corruption from the Puka, right? If it's a corruption from the Puka, then the Gem Crafter would have to be the Puka. But then this would be telling the truth, so that wouldn't work. So this would have to be a corruption from the Plague Doctor, right? So let me put that down as well. If we're assuming that the judge is telling the truth, then this is also a good character with true information, right? That would mean that it would have to be, at that point, basically this one and this one, or this one and this one, right? Those are the only two options, because this couldn't be true, so they couldn't be adjacent to each other. And there's no other outsiders, right? There's no hidden outsiders. Yeah, so this is actually just one evil. It's not greater than or equal to one evil. So if that's the case, then it would either be the Plague Doctor and the Baker, or the Bombardier and the Slayer. But here's the thing, if it's the Bombardier and the Slayer... No, that would work. That would work. I'm just trying to think. If it's the Slayer... Okay, if it's the Plague Doctor and the Baker... Couldn't kill 6... Alright, I think I'm going to have to kill somebody to move on. I'm going to go ahead and kill the Baker here. Alright, so that is the Puka. Poisoning this one. Okay. So, let me go ahead and erase all this blue nonsense so far. There we go. So we got our red stuff there. And let's go ahead and mark that the Puka is obviously evil. So that means that this is a lie. Whether, I mean, basically, well, we don't know if it's a lie, right? They couldn't kill number 6. That could have been due to corruption. But let's think here. So, let's assume that the Slayer, let's assume that the Bombardier is evil, right? Let's assume the Bombardier is evil. Let me put that in blue, actually. Here we go. Bombardier is evil. That would mean that the Slayer would have to be good, the Plague Doctor would have to be good, the Gem Crafter's good, which means this is, well, it doesn't have to necessarily be true, but no, the Judge would be good, so this would be true, right? So that would be true, and then this one would have to be, this would be true as well, right? So this would be true, this would be a lie in that case, and that all works, right? That looks good, because the Gem Crafter is saying that number 2 is good. They are good, but they're corrupted by the Plague Doctor, who we know is good, so that they're doing that. The minion would be 1 away from the Puka. The Slayer couldn't kill it because it was poisoned by the Puka. And then this is all good as well. So that works. Let's go with the alternative, that the Plague Doctor is evil, right? So let's say the Plague Doctor is evil, which would mean the Bombardier is good. This would now be a lie because they're not next to each other. This would make sense. I mean, basically the Slayer is useless regardless. Doesn't prove anything because it sat next to the Puka. Okay. In that case, then number 2 is good. I mean, at this point, though, I can just kill the Plague Doctor first and then kill the Bombardier because we're at 10 health. Yeah, okay. I don't even need to think about this. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. All right, there we're good, so it's the Bombardier. All right, there we go. I was doing a lot of work for no reason. There you go. All right, here we go. We've got Lilith, we got Puppeteer, we got Minion, Plague Doctor, Bombardier, Drunk, Dreamer, Bard, Baker, blah, blah, blah. All right, we got a lot of options here. So, we have 10 characters. That means that the Lilith is going to get 2 kills. Okay. So, we have to be pretty cognizant of the order that we want to reveal cards here, right? So let me go ahead and start with, is there an architect here? There's no architect. Okay, so let's just start at the top. Or we have Druid here, okay. And we only have 1 outcast, which is either a Drunk, a Bombardier, or a Plague Doctor. So I'm going to continue around, we'll go like that. So we have a Bombardier here. We've got a Baker saying they were the Dreamer, so once again, right off the bat, that is a lie. Because, once again, they would say I'm the original Baker, if that wasn't a lie, if that was true, okay? So let's keep going around. We have Dreamer here. The demon kills number 8, so number 8 was good. Let's go ahead and mark that down. What are the forms of corruption on here, by the way? It could be the drunk. Other than that, there's nothing. No, drunk or plague doctor. Okay. So we'll come back to this. All right, we have Dreamer right there. We have Lover saying that there's no adjacent evils. Number 5, we got Plague Doctor. Hello, DKB. I'm stuck in the air fryer and can't get out. Any advice, bro? You know, that's a tough one, you know. What was it? There was a scenario. Oh, no. The scenario was about how you would get out of a blender or some shit. Apparently there was some Google question back in the day where they were like, if you were turned tiny and trapped in a blender, how would you get out? And there was some clever answer for how you should get out or some shit, but I'm not smart enough, you know? So, as far as an air fryer goes, I think you're fucked, bud. Sorry. Alright, so we have a conflict right here between the Plague Doctor and the Bombardier. We got a poet, so number 2 is saying that this is the real Baker. Dubious claim, saying I was the dreamer. Alright, we got the Hunter here. They kill number 9. Okay, I'm 1 card away from the closest evil. Number 9 was a good character right there. Oh, fuck, the heat just turned on. Wish me luck, bros. Just hunker down, you know, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Alright, so Plague Doctor, Bombardier. We don't know which one is which yet. Number 2 is the real Baker. No evils adjacent to me. I'm 1 card away from the closest evil. So basically, this Hunter is saying this poet is evil. The poet is saying the Baker is good. I think what I want to do is I'm going to use the Druid to check... I'm going to use the Druid to check the Plague Doctor, the Lover, and the Dreamer. And saying that there is a Plague Doctor, so this Druid, unless the Druid is evil, is confirming this Plague Doctor. Let's go ahead and check the Plague Doctor versus the Baker to see if they're corrupted. They're not corrupted according to the Plague Doctor. Alright, so Dreamer here. So basically, let's make an assumption that the poet is correct. So if this is true, right, then they would have to be good, and then this Baker would have to be good, but would have to be lying, right? And that lie, what would that be caused by? Basically, there's the Plague Doctor. The only other way that they could be lying and be good would be if they were the drunk, which would contradict what the poet is saying. So the poet has to be lying, okay? So there we go. So the poet is lying here. So this right here is a lie. Let's go ahead and switch. Alright, so you're a liar right there. Lying poet. Could still be good, though. Could just be corrupted, we could say. Well, no, but that's... okay, so they're either the drunk or the... or they're evil. Alright, so let's see... Let's go through the scenario if they're the drunk, right? Let me say that they're the drunk in this blue scenario here. If they're the drunk, then they're good. This would still be a lie, but then that could be caused by... No, because the drunk would already be in play, so they couldn't be corrupted by the Plague Doctor. That would mean that the poet would be evil, which would mean that this would be true right here, right? True, and then they would be good. The Plague Doctor would be evil. And then the Bombardier would also be evil. So that would be all 3 evils placed, which would mean that this would be a lie, but that lie would have no reason to happen, so that's not true. So the Baker has to be evil. Alright, the Baker has to be evil, so we'll go ahead and execute them right there. Boom, so it's the Lilith, so we got the Demon right there. Alright, so we got the Demon. What else do we want to do here? So, the poet is lying. This is saying there's no evils adjacent. 1 away from evil. Let me use the Dreamer on the poet. Saying that this could be minion. Okay, I can buy that. That would agree with that. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the poet. It is the minion, so that confirms that. This appears to be true. Actually, this is true as well. So the Plague Doctor is confirmed, which means the Bombardier is evil right there. And we got the Puppeteer, which means the Druid is the puppet. Alright, there we go. Look at that. Boom. Moving on. Alright, we got the new setup. We got the Lilith. We got Twin Minion, Drunk, Plague Doctor, Druid, Poet, yada yada yada. Let me erase all this shit real quick. Confessor, blah blah blah. We got no Architect, Plague Doctor, Twin Minion, Lilith. Alright, let's go ahead and start at the top then. Slayer, Poet. Twin Minion is one card away from the closest evil. We go to number 2, Bishop. Okay, Bishop gives you a lot of info. Between 1, 8, and 5, there's an outcast, a minion, and a villager. So we have 1 and 8 revealed, so let's reveal 5. Alright, so the demon kills number 7 here. Okay. So number 7 we know is a confirmed good. Let me just note that down. Confirmed good, because they didn't say anything when they died. Here we go. So, what are the outcast options? There's the Plague Doctor and the Drunk. So the only way this can be true is if there is a drunk among these 3 right here. But let's keep going around. Alright, so we got Confessor saying I'm good. That's confirmable. So the Confessor is definitely good. That's true. Alright, the Confessor, basically the way that they work is if there is an evil disguised as a Confessor, or if the Confessor is corrupted, they'll say, I am dizzy. So if they're saying, I am good, they're guaranteed to be good. So we have a validated good player here. Let's flip you over, and then let's flip you over. Alright. I'm 3 cards away from a corrupted character. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hard to tell that, because one of them is a killed player, so we don't really know. But this one's saying number 2 or 5 is a twin minion. Alright, well, I mean, they're saying they're including themselves in that. Now, here's the interesting thing. Okay, wait. So, because they're including themselves in this, if this was a lie, then they would have to be corrupted. And the form of corruption would be Drunk or Plague Doctor, but there's no Plague Doctor shown, so this could be a Plague Doctor, technically, which would be kind of a pain in the ass. But this could also be the Drunk, so that's possible. Alright. If this is false, though, we know that all of the characters referenced by the Bishop are all villagers, which is useful. Okay, so let me go ahead and say... let me think here, What do I want to do? Outcast Minion Villager. Outcast Minion Villager. Twin Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. I'm 3 cards away from the corrupted character. Okay, well, the first thing I want to do, to start off here, is I'm going to go ahead and assume... Let's assume that this is a lie, because that would give us a lot of information. So let's assume that's a lie. That would mean that number 8 is a legit poet, or number 1's a legit poet, number 8's a legit slayer, and number 5 is a legit oracle. Okay? In that case, this could be true, because it would mean that number 2 is a twin minion right there. Lying Bishop is way more helpful than an honest one. Yep, that is correct. Correct. I mean, I guess they're both pretty useful, but yeah, just getting 3 confirmed villagers, that's like almost half the town right there. But here we go. I mean, I think Bishop is like the most useful character in the game, probably, I would say. I don't know, sometimes you get ridiculous baker chains, but like, Bishop is crazy, man. Alright, so if we assume that they're lying, then that would mean that this is a villager. I mean, it could be corrupted still, actually. Never mind. So, the Oracle could be corrupted by a... No, but then how would this explain the lie over here, right? So we could only have 1 lie between the 2. So this would have to be the twin minion, specifically. So I'm just going to say minion over there. And this would have to be true, right? Just like that. And I'm 3 cards away from a corrupted character. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. The poet. Twin minion is 1 card away from the closest. So basically, the only place that we could place evils would be between the dreamer and the bard, if this is a lie, right? And this is saying that twin minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. So if it was the dreamer, but then that would be false, but that could be fine because they could be the corrupted one or the drunk one. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think I need to use the Dreamer here. So, let me think. Well, okay, but let's go through the true scenario real quick. So let's say this is true. That would mean that this bishop would have to be good, which would mean that between 1, 5, and 8, there would have to be an outcast, a minion, and a villager. So the outcast would have to be the drunk, right? The outcast would have to be the drunk. There would have to be a minion. Twin minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. You know what? I'm going to do here, I think, is I'm going to use the Slayer on the bishop. I think that gives us a lot of info that we can start building worlds off of. Slaying bishop. Okay, there we go. So we know it was a lie, which is huge. Huge. So let's go ahead and erase all of this stuff and confirm it. So we'll erase all that shit. Good stuff. Alright, so let me go red here. So Slayer's obviously good. Obviously evil there, but that means that you're good. You're good. And was it 1, 5, 8? Okay, yeah, we're all good. All right, so that means that one of these two right here has to be the demon. So it's just a matter of which one, right? So this is true. That's all good. This has to be a lie. So that means that, this is not the drunk, and then this is not the drunk, or the, whatever. Actually, but that means that this is not corrupted, so that means that this is true, which means the twin minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. So that means that the dreamer right here has to be the evil. Alright, there we go. Good stuff. Moving right along here. Here we go. We got the Ba, we got the Counselor, Bombardier, Wretch, Doppelganger, blah, 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 blah. Oracle... Boom. Okay, we got 7 cards here, so pretty small town. We got 2 evils. We got to find them. So let's start with number 1. All right, Hunter's saying I'm 3 cards away from the closest evil. So let's go ahead. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's reveal both of these. All right, we got another bishop and a wretch. Okay. 1, 2, 7. Villager, minion, outcast. Let's just reveal them. Okay. Is there any form of corruption on here? There is Plague Doctor, potentially, but they would show up. We have a Counselor. We do have 2 outcasts. So I'm just going to reveal everything here. I don't really care about score. So we have 2 face-up outcasts. There is a Doppelganger. So are there any double claims here? There's Architect, Hunter, Bishop, Knight, Oracle. No double claims. So no Doppelganger. No hidden outcasts. So both outcasts are legit then. So let's go ahead and mark these as good. So you're good. You're good. This is saying 1, 2, 7. And so there is an outcast in there. So this has to be true. Which means that this bishop is good. Which means that there's an evil between you two. So 1... God damn it. Alright, so 1 evil right there. Between those two. So, what is it? There's no corruption at all. So that means I can go ahead and kill the knight as a check. Alright, so knight is legit. That means the hunter's evil. So we got the counselor out of the way and saying number 4 or number 5 is a counselor. Now this is possible for the oracle to still be good because the wretch registers as a random evil minion to other characters. Which would mean that this could be correct, essentially, still because of the wretch. This is saying the right side is more evil, which is potentially true. So I think it's ambiguous between these two. Let me just think about that. So knight's good, obviously. Ambiguous between these, because let's say that this is the evil, right? If this is the evil... Oh wait, does the right side include the middle? According to the arrows, it does. I always thought that the middle was just the middle. Anyway, I don't fucking know. So, Architect and Oracle, either one could be correct. Actually, no, this is correct, I think. So I think it's got to be Architect. There we go. Alright. correct because of the way that Retch works. We got Lilith, we got Puppeteer, we got Poisoner, Plague Doctor, Doppelganger, Bishop, Enlightened Slayer, Druid, Confessor, yada yada yada. Excuse me. Do we have Architect in the mix? We do have Architect in the mix. I don't know, I want to check if this counts as being on the right side, but if that's the case, I'm going to go along here, I think. Plague Doctor, Fortune Teller, Architect saying left side is more evil. Oh, okay, no, it's just saying that they both include the middle one. Alright, so we're good, we're good. That's the same thing as not including the middle one. Alright. Let's see, left side is more evil, Fortune Teller, Plague Doctor. There's no Counselor. No Counselor, there's a Puppeteer. Alright, let's keep going around then. Left side is more evil. Alright, let's start revealing the right side then. Kills number 5, which is on the left side. Which could be useful. Alright, so confirmed good right there, obviously. Let's reveal you. Slayer. Bishop. We love bishops. Alright. 4, 5, 8. So 4, 5, 8. So this one has to be true because of the fact that it's including an outcast claim. So this bishop is telling the truth, which means they're good. Alright, so confirmed good. And this is either a minion or an outcast. Alright, let's go ahead and do number 4. I'm dizzy. Okay, so that's confirmed that they're being corrupted or evil. So they could be corrupted by the Plague Doctor or the Poisoner. Or they're evil, right? Let's go ahead and reveal you. Oracle right there. So number 7 or number 8 is the Poisoner. Are there any double claims, first of all? So Oracle, Druid, Slayer, Bishop, Confessor, Architect, Fortune Teller. So no face-up double claims. This looks like Cult of the Lamb. Yeah, the art style kind of looks similar to that sort of a thing, but it plays totally different. It's like a social deduction game, but it's a roguelike. It's pretty sick. Alright, so left side is more evil, according to the Architect here. I'm dizzy. Let's see, so Slayer, you know what I want to see is if the Druid says there's a doppelganger in there, that would be interesting. Otherwise, I mean, I could check if the Plague Doctor's legit as well. Actually, yeah, let's check if the Plague Doctor's legit. I'm just going to go boom, boom, boom. They're saying there's no outcasts among these 3. So that's at odds with the Plague Doctor, obviously. It's not a Puka, right? It's a Lilith. Alright, Lilith right there. Okay, okay. You know, let me, so number 7 or number 8 is a Poisoner. Fortune Teller, I'm dizzy. Bishop, 4, 5, 8. Okay, well, let's see here. There's no outcasts among 7, 8, and 9. You know what? Let's assume that's true. Okay, let's assume that's true. Well, here's the thing. The thing that's complicated about that being true is that this could be a doppelganger pair with anybody in the circle. So that doesn't really give me much information, actually. Let's see. Let's see. Left side is more evil. I am dizzy. Okay, well, let's assume that the Confessor is good. Let's try to make that assumption, because that seems unlikely to me. So let's say that you're good, right? In that case, you're being corrupted by either a Poisoner, but that's impossible because they're not sitting next to a Poisoner. So it'd have to be coming from the Plague Doctor, which would mean that that's not necessarily meaning that this Plague Doctor is legit, because there could be a Plague Doctor there. But it's more likely, I guess, that this one is legit if we assume that the Confessor is good. But then if we assume the Confessor is good, then that would mean that they're the Villager, and then this would have to be the Outcast, and this would have to be the Minion. Okay, so basically, this would have to be the Minion, which would mean that this is the Outcast, right? Which would mean that this Druid would be telling the truth, which would mean they're good. Which, I mean, this could be true if this is the poisoner, poisoning the fortune teller. Left side is more evil. Bishop, Slayer. So, you know what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have the Slayer try to kill the Confessor right now. And that gives us a lot of info, potentially. So, Slayer shoot on Confessor. And we'll go from there. Alright, so that is the Puppeteer right there, okay? So, number 4, number 5. So we know that number 5 is good. That means the Bishop itself is the puppet. But giving out true information because they're the puppet. Okay, and we know that the Slayer is confirmed good. And then, let's see here. Let's go from there. So, number 4, number 8. So that Plague Doctor's legit then. So we need to check if this Druid is corrupted. Or if they're just lying as an evil. Not corrupted, that means that they're evil. So that's the Lilith right there. And then this is saying 7 or 8 is a poisoner. But this itself could be the poisoner, potentially. Let's see, left side is more evil. Well, that's obviously wrong, right? But this could be the poisoner as well. So, if 7's the poisoner, they could be poisoning the Architect. Let's kill 7 here. Alright, so that's the poisoner. There we go. We got it, baby. Alright, moving right along here. We got a new setup. We've got Ba, Puppeteer, Shaman, Doppelganger, Bombardier, Plague Doctor, Confessor, yada, yada, yada. Alright, so we don't have to be super careful about the order that we reveal cards here. Let me check. Alright, so we got number 9 here. 9 or 7 is a puppet. Well, that includes you. Which could be true, because it could be a truth-telling puppet. But let's go ahead and reveal you there. So you're the judge. It'd be interesting if I checked this against that. But we'll go from there. Let's see what number 8 is. Number 8 is claiming to be a Plague Doctor here. But there could be a Doppelganger, etc. Let's reveal you. So a double claim with Plague Doctor. Another double claim with Plague Doctor. Bard, I'm 1 card away from a corrupted character. Okay, Confessor's saying they're dizzy. Slayer and Confessor, I am good. Okay, well, they're kind of backing each other up here. So, let me try to figure this out. Corrupted character could come from the Plague Doctor. I mean, assumedly one of those Plague Doctors is legit. But there have to be at least 2 evils among those 3. So let me go ahead and just write that down real quick. So we'll just go like this. So boom, boom, boom. So 2 or 3 evil. You guys like my beautiful handwriting? Beautiful stuff right here. Okay. 2 or 3 evil in there. This is saying that 9 or 7 is a puppet, which would be implying that this is the puppeteer here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this Slayer shoot this, and couldn't kill 8. Okay, so this doesn't prove that 8's good, but it would be interesting. 1 card away from a corrupted character. I am dizzy. Let's go ahead and have all of the... Let's have the... I'm trying to think here. What do I want the Plague Doctors to check? Because I could do all the Plague Doctors checking the Confessor here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So this one checks that one. That's saying it's not corrupted. Not corrupted. Is corrupted. 5 is evil. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Two of the Plague Doctors have to be lying. And so it would be these 2. So this has to be corrupted, which means this has to be true, which means both of these Plague Doctors are evil. Alright, Puppeteer, which means the judge is evil. And this is true, then. Which means that we've only got 1 more. This is telling the truth. This is corrupted. They're good. That's true information. Slayer. Bah. Alright, there we go. Good stuff. Alright. Puka, Minion, Wretch, Doppelganger, Bombardier, Bard, Fortune Teller, Jester, Slayer, Alchemist, Poet. Okay. Also, I'm probably going to play for, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes longer. I don't know. We'll see what's up. Doctor handwriting, you are correct. My handwriting has only gotten worse over the years. It's just, you know, I don't handwrite anything, man. I just type it all out. All right, here we go. Let's get started. We got number 1. We got Slayer, Bard, Alchemist, Poet, Slayer, Jester, Fortune Teller, Wretch, and Bard. Excuse me. One thing to note, by the way, is that if the Slayer kills the Wretch, you still lose health if it's really the Wretch. So it's interesting to note. Let's see here. So, the hidden outcast would be Doppelganger. So it's possible that the Wretch is actually evil, and that there's a Doppelganger between the Slayers, or the Bards. And then this Alchemist is saying, I cured 1 corruption. What causes corruption here? The Puka. Okay. So, if the Alchemist cured 1 corruption, it would mean that one of these two is the Puka. But here's the thing about demons that I learned, is that the demon will not double claim an in-play villager role. So if... Okay, let's go through that assumption, okay? So let's go ahead and say that this is true, right? That would mean that one of the 2 Slayers would have to be the Puka. But the thing is, the Puka does not claim an in-play actual Slayer role, so that would mean that these would be both of the evils, right? Corrupting one of these. And this is saying one evil is adjacent to me, so that would be true. But then this would be true. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be true if, because this would be curing this corruption. So this would be corrupted over here, so this would be a lie, and then that would be true right there. And then he's saying I'm 3 cards away from the corrupted character, 1, 2, 3. So that would also be true. And that all works. That looks pretty compelling to me, I'm not going to lie. So let's... you know what? Yep. See you, boss. There we go, there we go. Alright, sometimes just getting a little layup, right? You know, you take the layups, you take the layups. Alright, here we go. We got Lilith, we got Poisoner, we got Counselor, Drunk, Plague Doctor, Wretch, Gemcrafter, Slayer, Knight, Knitter, and all that shit. Okay, whatever. Making sure that order... Alright, so I mean, as Lilith, so we'll just kind of go where the information takes us. So we got number 1 right there. We got the Wretch. We got the Knitter. Alright, so it's saying they're not adjacent to each other, including the Wretch, which is interesting. We'll move to 3. I cured 2 corruptions. Alright, that's a bold claim, mister. Are there even any ways to, what are the ways to cure corruption? I guess it would have to legitimately just be Poisoner and Plague Doctor, all within the range of the Alchemist, which is pretty unlikely, but hey, we'll see what's up. Okay, so this is obviously confirmed good. We got the Knight right there. Now, Knight could be corrupted by Poisoner or Plague Doctor, or they could be the Drunk. Let's keep moving along. We got Judge, Poet, and then Plague Doctor, and then you kill 9. Alright, so had to kill an evil. So that was very useful, alright? So let's go ahead and note this down. Alright, so you are an evil that we've taken out. You're a good. Basically, the demon will be forced to kill evils if they're the only options available, and the only time they won't do that is if they themselves are the only remaining unrevealed card. Alright, so we got 1 minion out of the way, which is either the Counselor or the Poisoner. But it's interesting to note. So to me it looks more likely that's the Counselor sitting next to the Plague Doctor. But we don't know that for sure, because we could also be having a Drunk over there. Potentially. Or this might not even be the Counselor. It could be the Poisoner poisoning the Slayer here. Evils are not adjacent to each other. Poet number 2 or number 8 is a Poisoner. Okay, okay. And then the Judge right there. We got the Knight. I cured 2 corruptions. Slayer. I'm going to go ahead and try to slay the alchemist here. Couldn't kill number 3. I'm going to try to kill the knight. Ran out of health. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, never mind. Alright, I guess they were corrupted and we lose. Alright, well, there we go. I should have maybe thought that through a little bit more. Because we didn't need to do that. We definitely did not need to do that, but rip bozo. Alright. Here we go. You know, we move on. We move on. It's all good. We have a clean slate. I'm going to get further than I've ever gotten before. Alright, we got Lilith, we got Shaman, we got Minion, Plague Doctor, Doppelganger, Scout, Gemcrafter, Dreamer, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Here we go. Let's start with number 1 here. We got Scout. Lilith is 1 card away from the closest evil. We got Scout. Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. We got Dreamer right here. We got Gemcrafter. And they kill there. Alright, so they're saying number 5 is good. Number 4 is good. So they're confirming each other. Is it a doppelganger pair? It could be a shaman pair or a doppelganger pair. We move on. Slayer. We've got Lover. We've got Knight. Now, I will not make the same mistake that I made last time. Let's make sure. Is there any form of corruption? There is a Plague Doctor. This could have been a Plague Doctor right there, so we don't want to risk it for the biscuit. But it's looking like there's a fucking dupla, you know, what is it, doppelganger. Enraged at 0.4% on Final Fantasy 14 raid, so I'm here to get lied to for self-soothing. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. How is that game? I've heard people talk about it, but I haven't really ever been into the Final Fantasy franchise. I just kind of missed that whole thing. Like, growing up, I was like a Nintendo boyo, you know? And so I never got, like, PlayStation games until later in my life, so I never picked up the Final Fantasy stuff. But isn't Final Fantasy 14? That's the MMO version, right? Anyway, I'm getting distracted. I gotta logic this shit out, bro. All right, Lilith is 1 card away from the closest evil. Minion is 1 card away from the closest evil. I mean, that kind of checks out right there. 14 is great. Nice. Slayer, 1 evil adjacent. What are we drinking tonight? Love the vids lately. Thank you, thank you. Right now I've got a there's like a boba place that I went to, but they had a Vietnamese coffee slushy that is now melted. But that's what I've got. I'm drinking fucking coffee at 6 p.m. 50 hours of MSQ followed by 250 hours of MSQ. I don't know what MSQ is. Alright, there we go. Let's get back into it. So, 1 evil adjacent there. 4 is good, 5 is good. Let's assume that they're both evils pointing to each other. What would that look like? So let's go ahead and mock that out. So if that was the case, you would be evil, you would be evil. Pointing to each other. And then this would be potentially all true. 1 evil adjacent to you. Yada, yada, yada. Dreamer. Lilith is 1 card. So that could all be true. Potentially. This one's tricky. Tricky. Okay, you know what? Actually, before I get into that, the thing I want to check is if it's possible for this to be Plague Doctor. Okay, let me check that. So let's say that this is good, and the Plague Doctor. I mean, we know they're good, actually. We already know they're good, because they were killed by the demon. So let's go ahead and put a little check mark right there. Here we go. I really need to play more Blood on the Clock Tower. Me too. And I just played on Sunday. There was this big, kind of, well, big, like a mini event where we played some Clock Tower on a rooftop, and there were like 50 people that showed up, and I was running games. It was a great time. All right, does Slayer always fail if they're lying? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So, they can only kill if they're not corrupted or if they're good. All right. So they're good for sure, but let's say that let's make the assumption that they're the Plague Doctor up here, right? So PD, that would mean that there's no doppelgangers. So that would mean that all of the double claims have to have at least 1 evil between them, right? Which I think that works out. It's just that the demon wouldn't necessarily be in there. All right, Lilith is one card. One evil adjacent to them. Actually, you know what? The first thing I want to do, actually, is I want to do this. Alright, there we go. That was useful. That was useful information right there. Because that tells us you're good, you're evil, obviously, and then you are good in telling the truth. So, that's all good right there. And what I want to see is this could be two confirming each other. These could be evil. Shaman and Doppelganger. I mean, these could all be... Well, no, these all cannot be good. There needs to be two minions placed. And this means that one of these has to be evil. So does this have to be the Plague Doctor? No, this could be a Doppelganger. There could be a Doppelganger pair between any of these, actually. So we don't know that. But one of these two groups has baddies in it, I think. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and check right here. Could be Lilith. Let's find out. It is Lilith. All right. There you go. Here we go. We got some good shit going on here. All right. We got Ba, we got Puppeteer, we got Wretch, Drunk, Bombardier, Druid, all that other shit. Okay. Looking good. Okay, so let's start with one here. There's two pairs of evil. That would imply that there's a Wretch. No, Puppeteer. Never mind. So, let's see here. Knight. Is there a form of corruption here? There's Drunk. And that's it. Just Drunk. Okay. Oracle number 3 or number 5 is the Puppeteer. Wretch right there. Lover, one evil adjacent to me. Druid right there. Bishop, 3. Between 3 and 5, there's a minion and a villager. Excuse me. We have Gemcrafter saying number 3 is good. And there's no double claims, it looks like. No double claims at all. So... Okay. 2 pairs of evil. 1 pair is automatically going to be there from the Puppet and Puppeteer. This is saying number 3 or number 5 is the Puppeteer. If this is the Puppeteer, let's assume that the number 5 is specifically the Puppeteer and look at what that looks like, okay? So if you're evil and you're the Puppeteer, I'm just going to put a P there, alright, then this would be true, and you would be good, and then you would be evil and a puppet, right? So a puppet right there, so that would be the pair, that would be all of the pairs right there according to this. This is saying number 3 is good, so this would be true, which means you would be good as well. And then between 3 and 5, there's a minion and a villager, so that would be true as well. Just like that. And then we would place the additional evil between these two over here, the Knight or the Knitter. If it's the Knitter, then... That can't be the Knitter, so it would have to be the Knight. So they would have to be evil, and you would be good. And that would be the 2 pair right there. Oh no, it could be the Wretch, but there's no hidden outcasts. There's the Drunk. There could be the Drunk, actually, so never mind. Could be Drunk. No, but the Wretch couldn't be... No, the Wretch could be evil. And... that would still work. That would still work. So actually, and then this could be the Drunk right here. So, you know what I'm going to do is, the only form of corruption on the script here is from the Drunk. And I believe if this is the Drunk, we would only lose 4 health, even though they're the Knight. So I'm going to take that risk. Alright, so it is the Ba. Alright, so the Knight is evil. Okay, so that would mean that... let's see what this says. Let's see what this says. There are no outcasts. I mean, okay. There's a minion and a villager between these two. But the thing is, if this one was the Puppet, that wouldn't work, right? And if this is the Puppet, that wouldn't work. So there's something fishy going on here. Because if this was the puppet, right, it would have to tell the truth, which I mean, this is the puppeteer. So the wretch, is the wretch evil then? Is what I'm wondering. 3 is good. There are no outcasts. Because it's just the puppet and the puppeteer, right? And what if it's wretch, puppeteer, puppet? No, but then how would that be wrong? I mean, I guess they could be the drunk then, which would mean that they'd be good. But then that would be... No, that would not be misinfo, but I included 3 in that, so they couldn't be telling the truth over here. Alright, let me plot this out so I can wrap my head around it a little bit better. So, let's go ahead and just plot this out. Okay, so... Here we go. What do we know? What do we know? Okay, so... You're evil, obviously. Number 3... Let's assume the wretch is evil. Okay? Let's see what that looks like. So if you're evil, you're either the you would have to be the puppeteer. So this would have to be the puppeteer, meaning this is a lie. And this would be... So then this would have to be the puppet, right? So you would be evil. And this would be the puppet. Which would mean that... where is this lie coming from then? I guess this could be the drunk. But then that would mean a lie would go up there. Which doesn't make any sense. So this just doesn't work. There's too many lies placed around. Right? Too many lies placed around this way. So the wretch has to be good, I think. And then there's no drunk. So the wretch is good, and then there's no drunk. It's like 3 or 5 is the puppeteer. I think wretch is always considered evil to other characters. It is always evil to other characters, that is correct, but I'm just thinking if the wretch is actually like a minion, like the puppeteer, right? But it doesn't seem like it's the case. So this is just wrong. So this is just a lie right there. Yeah, wretch is always evil in their eyes. Yep. And that is a lie. Okay, so that means that this cannot be the puppet. It would have to be the puppeteer. So that means that this has to be a lie as well, right? Because this couldn't be the puppeteer because it would be turning this into the puppet, and then this would be wrong, right? Let's see. Or are you saying that maybe, does the... Wait. Oh, so does the druid not register the wretch in its learning about them? You know, that might be the case, actually, because I don't know if this works out. I think this means there's, like, too many lies, right? 3 and 5. There's a minion and a villager. Yeah, okay, no. Okay, the druid must not register the wretch as being a as being an outcast, I think. Yeah, I see. Okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and stab here. Yeah, the puppeteer, and then this is the puppet. All right, so this would have to be telling the truth. So the wretch, I guess, even to the druid, does not register as being an outcast. Because the wretch registers as an evil minion to the druid. So, there you go. Interesting. The more you know, I'm learning, you know? I only started playing this game a couple days ago. But there's a lot to it. Alright, we got Ba, we got Shaman, we got Minion. Let's see, how much longer do I think I got? I think I got like 30 minutes more of streaming in me, and then I'll probably call it a day. But I like jumping on stream every once in a while. It's a good time. Alright, Ba, Shaman, Minion, Plague Doctor, Doppelganger, Bombardier, Hunter, Architect... all that goodness. Okay. So let's just start revealing. We got Oracle. Number 2 or number 8 is a Shaman. So number 2, number 8, both Dreamers. Okay, so I'm buying your argument so far. Although it could be the Shaman pair right there. Let's see. We got 3. We got Knight, Architect, Bombardier, Hunter, Poet, Bard, Plague Doctor. Okay, so we have 2 outcasts. which is impossible, so that means that they're... And are all outcasts face up, by the way? Now, there is a doppelganger. Okay, so there's at least one evil between these two. Let me go ahead and write that out. So, that'd be 1 or 2 evil, right? 1 or 2 evil between those two. This is saying number 2 or number 8 is a shaman. Let's see here. So, is this the only double claim here? The Dreamers? Yeah, it is. Okay, that's actually the only double claim, which means that they're both good, actually. So, that means that there's only one evil between these two, actually, and that both the Dreamers are good, because the Dreamers have to be placed by the shaman, right? Which means there's no doppelganger, which means that these are both... One of them is legit, between the Plague Doctor and the Bombardier. So, that's pretty powerful info. You're good, and you're good. Left side is more evil. There's a knight right there. This is a lie, alright? That is a lie, which could be coming from the Plague Doctor. I'm 3 cards away from a corrupted character. So the Bard is contradicting that being a good player right there. I'm 2 cards away from a corrupted character. The Bard itself could be corrupted. We got the Hunter saying I'm 1 card away from the closest evil, which could be the Bombardier. Left side is more evil. Let's go ahead and check. Plague Doctor on Oracle. They're saying they're not corrupted. Let's kill the Oracle. It's the Ba. Alright, there we go. And then, let's see here. So I'm 1 card away from the closest evil. Dreamers. Dreamers should be giving me good info because there is no corruption except for the Plague Doctor. It looks like the Plague Doctor's legit to me because that's legit info. So that means the Bombardier's evil. Alright, so we got Minion out of the way right there as well. Which means we're just looking for the Shaman now. This is saying the left side is more evil, which is impossible because we have 1 on the right side, 1 in the middle. So, that is a lie right there. And that lie could be coming from the Plague Doctor, but we don't know yet. Let's use the Dreamer on the Architect. Could be Shaman. There you go. Compelling enough evidence for me. Alright, there we go. We got Lilith, Shaman, Poisoner, Drunk, Plague Doctor, Architect, Confessor, Baker, yada yada yada. Alright, so we got Druid up top. We got Medium, Gem Crafter, Baker. Saying they were an Architect, so that is straight up false, bitch. That is a lie. You're good. Number 3 is good, apparently, according to this Gem Crafter up here. Confessor, I am good. Number 3 is good. I am good. We love to see it. So that's true. That is good, and that is true as well right there. Alright. And number 2 is a real medium. And number 5 is a real drunk. Now, it's interesting. The medium confirming another medium. Could be from the shaman. Could be from the shaman. Number 5 is a real drunk. Interesting. Okay, okay. An Architect saying left side is more evil, and the Knight there. Okay, so... Knight could be corrupted by Poisoner. Left side more evil. Confessor. Number 5 is a real drunk. 2's there. Let's go ahead and check you. And these two. There are no outcasts, though, is what the Druid is saying. So it would have caught the drunk if... So there's basically a conflict between these two. Right there. Let's see. I was an Architect. Left side, more evil. Number 2 is a real medium. Number 5 is a drunk. This is saying there's not a drunk. There's 3 evils, right? One of them's a poisoner. There's no other double claims except for the mediums. Could be a double claim between these, but I think that this is the legit medium pair right there. So I'm going to go ahead and kill here. That's a corrupted Baker, okay. Which means that it's probably Poisoner there, because it's not the drunk. It has to be the Poisoner right there. So there we go. So that's the Poisoner. And then left side more evil. It's plausible. Number 5 is the real drunk. Another live stream, yep. Are so lucky. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Probably going to be on for about 20 more minutes, and then I'm going to call it a night. But I'm trying to hop on every once in a while now. And just, you know, it's fun hanging out, playing some games, shit like that. I want to do a Voices of the Void stream soon, because that game looks like a lot of fun. So I want to try it out. Looks like it has a lot of, like, interesting content added to it. Could be a good time. Alright. So we got the poisoner out of the way. And let's see. I think that both of the mediums seem good. So I think it's the druid. That's the shaman, yep. And then we just need the demon now. So demon would be... Well, I mean, this is impossible right now, right? Because good, good, good. So it would be you. Alright, there we go. We got it. Another card-based roguelike. Yeah, this one, I mean, it basically doesn't really have a deck-building aspect yet, but it looks like the full game will have some kind of deck building. For now, it's mostly just like the cards are used to just represent whatever's in the lineup, basically whatever's on the script, right? But we got Ba, we got Puppeteer, we got Doppelganger, Bombardier, all that shit. Okay, so let's go with you. Druid, Bombardier, Druid, Confessor saying they're dizzy, Alchemist, Bard, and Knight. Okay, well the Alchemist is making a heavy claim. I cured 2 corruptions. I don't know about that, man, because there is no form of corruption on the script right there. So that would have to be a lie. So that's a lie right there. We don't know if they're evil. God damn it. My mouse glitched out. I'm blaming the mouse. Cured 2 corruptions. That's definitely a lie. I mean... Is there any form of corruption on here at all? No, there isn't. Okay, so the Confessor is just evil. Self-reporting. They're the puppet, though. Okay, so that probably means that the Alchemist is the... Nope. Okay, well, there we go. Just that easy. Just that easy. Okay. We got similar lineup to last time. Alright, so we got Bishop 4-5-3. So 3-4-5. There's an Outcast, Villager, and a Minion. 3, 4, 5. Alright, so this has to be true because there are 2 Outcast claims in there. So as long as there's an Outcast claim in the Bishop's, you know, what they're outputting, that means that this has to be true, which means they're good. And that means that there is an Outcast, a Villager, and a Minion. But there's 2 Outcast claims, which means that the medium is legit. And they're saying that the number 3 is a real Bombardier. They could still be corrupted, though, and reporting the wrong information from the Plague Doctor, if there is a Plague Doctor out there. So we don't want to execute just yet. Let's reveal you. We got Druid, we got Scout. Puppet is 1 card away from the closest evil. That has to be true. So you're true, unless there is no Puppet, which I don't think is possible. So you're good. And then we'll flip you over. You're the Baker. I was the Bishop. That is obviously a lie, because they would have said they were the original Baker. So there we go. We got a lie there. And there's no Plague Doctor claim. And the only other form of misinformation is nothing. So that means that number 3 is the real Bombardier. You're evil. Which means that you're evil. Which means you're evil. Alright. There we go. Good stuff. We got Ba, we got Puppeteer. Man, we keep getting this combo right here. I want something new. I want something new. Doppelganger, Drunk, Wretch, all that shit. 1, 2, blah, blah. Alright, number 6. Let's just flip them over. I'm getting impatient. I'm trying to jam as many games before my cutoff point in about 15 minutes. We're just gotta go quick, quick, quick. Alright? No time to think. We got Druid. Alright, so what are our double claims? We got 2 Jesters. We got... That's it, right? 2 Jesters. There's Shaman. There's no Shaman, but there's a Doppelganger, so there could be a Doppelganger in play, but there is a Wretch claim already. So, one of these three is evil. And there's two evils. This is saying the number 6 is legit. There are 2 pairs of evil. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a puppeteer, so there are 3 evils. I cured 0 corruptions. That has to be true, actually. Once again, from what I explained earlier. If the alchemist says that they're curing 0 corruptions, that necessarily has to be true, and they have to be good. Also, I don't even think that there's any corruption on the script, except drunk, but then drunk cannot be cured. So, that's just a confirmed good player right there. There are 2 pairs of evil. It could be the wretch also contributing to that, if the wretch is legit. Closest evil is counterclockwise, so going back this way. Makes sense. Druid, Jester, Jester. Alright, so let's go ahead and check. Jester, Jester, Alchemist. There's no outcast according to the Druid. So that's saying there's not a doppelganger there, which would imply the wretch is legit. If the Druid is legit. So, let's see. Number 6. 2 pairs of evil. Counterclockwise. Let's see what the Jesters say. I want to get one more confirmed good. Actually, you know what? The Wretch is basically a confirmed evil, right? So I can use the Wretch and the Alchemist as a baseline, and then see what we get beyond that, right? So, let me go ahead and try that out. Closest evil counterclockwise. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go boom, boom, and boom. There are 2 evils, is what this one is saying. Okay, so that's implying that the knitter is evil. Alright, let's try the other jester. So let's go boom, boom, boom. So I'm saying there's 3 evils, which is, well, it's not impossible. Well, yeah, it is possible. So that's a lie, and the only form of lying would come from being a drunk, which would mean that the wretch would have to be evil, which seems unlikely, so you're getting axed. Alright, you're the Ba. Okay, okay. Now here's the thing. Okay, one thing that I've learned is that the Ba, so that basically the demon, only claims roles that are not in play. That means that this jester is not legit either. It's the puppeteer right there. And there you go. This is true information. This is true information, so differentiating between these two is not possible, I don't think. So, but I mean, we have enough health, so you get the axe. There we go, we got lucky. Boom. Alright, back to it. Here we go. We got Lilith, we got Minion, Wretch, Doppelganger, Plague Doctor, all this stuff. Alright, so we got some new stuff. We got the Wretch right there. We got the Hunter. I'm one away from the closest evil. That is true. So you are good. Like that. Okay. And then Bard, there are no corrupted characters. If there's a Plague Doctor, that might not be true. Alchemist here, I cured 1 corruption. Okay. You kill over there. 3, 7, or 9 is evil. Okay. 3, 7, or 9 is evil. We'll go to number 5. Evils are not adjacent to each other. Let me just flip over the rest here. So we do have a Plague Doctor. So that is both of our... Unless there's a doppelganger. Let's see, are there any double claims here? So there could be a double claim there. But we don't have any face-up double claims. So it's pretty likely that both of these are legit. Evils are not adjacent to each other. Okay, okay. And this is also confirming this one down here. The Queen also registers Wretch as evil. The Empress? Yes, it does. It does. So, this has to be true. You're correct, yeah. So, that has to be true because it's seeing the Wretch. And so, that means that number 3 is good and number 7 is good. Alright, so the Plague Doctor's legit. Because if the Empress is lying, it says all characters in their info are good. And the Wretch has to either be evil or registering as an evil minion. Yeah. Alchemist is saying they cured 1 corruption. So, unless they themselves are corrupted, they cured the Plague Doctor's corruption. And then that would align with what the Bard is saying, that there are no corrupted characters. So that seems pretty likely. This is saying evils are not adjacent to each other. Which could be true. So, okay, the Empress is good, by the way. We know that. Faux show. We know the Hunter's good. The Poet and the Knitter are in agreement. If they were both evil together, they would both be telling the truth, which isn't possible. Yeah. So, they're... It's looking like, let me think here. So... Wait. So number 7, number 3, and number 9. It looks like it might be the Wretch that's actually evil. With the... let me see here. Wait. Okay, let me try to figure this out. Because this is actually a little bit tricky, because... Let's assume the Wretch is evil, okay? Let's say that the Wretch is evil, right? So they're one of the two evils that we've got. This is saying evils are not adjacent to each other. And the evils are not adjacent to each other, right? If this one is... I mean, this one has to be true if they're good. If they're evil, it could be false. But then that would be true if they're evil because they're not next to the Wretch. So, that doesn't work. So this is true and they're good, right? True and you're good. And then true, but then they'd have to be good. So that doesn't work. So the Wretch has to be good, right? Wretch has to be good. And then evils are not adjacent to each other. So is it... But if it's both of these, then they're both telling the truth, right? No, wait. They're both evil. The Wretch is legit. The Poet... These are both evil. And then this counts as the adjacency. There we go. Alright. Boom. Boom. Alright. We're good. Got confused by the Wretch. Classic mistake. Alright, here we go. We got the Ba, we got the Minion, we got the Shaman, Doppelganger, Bombardier, Drunk. All that stuff. So... What do we want to do? I'm just trying to see if there's anything that makes it so that we want to reveal in a certain order. Nope. Let's just flip them all over. We got 2 Slayers. Could be Doppelgangers. Could be the Shaman pair. I'm going to flip them all over. We're just going to need to see them all. Who cares? Alright, so we got 2 Knights, we got 2 Slayers, and we got... That's it. Alright, so that's everything we got. And there's no face-up outcasts, which means that we either have a Doppelganger or a Drunk. Yeah. Now this is saying evils are not adjacent to each other. This is saying number 4 is good. Closest evil is counterclockwise, meaning going this direction. Excuse me. I am 1 card away from a corrupted character. That's spooky. 2 Knights, and they're corrupted. And if you execute them, you basically lose. So, let's not do that yet. Let's figure this out. This is saying number 5 is a real enlightened. Okay. So, here we go. Let's, let's see here. Evils are not adjacent to each other. Number 4 is good. Let's make the assumption right now to start off that this is true, right? So if that's true, that means that the Gem Crafter is good, which means that you are good. Is there any form of corruption on the script? From Shaman, Minion, Ba, there's no... Well, there is a Drunk. There could be a Drunk. Okay. So if this is the case, this is saying that it's counterclockwise, right? But double claim over here. Could be Shaman pair, Doppelganger pair. Real enlightened. Let me think here. Closest evil is counterclockwise, so going back up in that direction. Medium. Number 5 is real enlightened. Evils are not adjacent to each other. We have 3 evils. Once again, this Ba, Minion, Shaman. Okay. I'm 1 card away from a corrupted character. But once again, the only corruption comes from being the drunk. So actually, I think it is safe to execute the knights. Because even if they're corrupted, they're just the drunk, which I think does not... I'm assuming does not kill us. I'm going to take that risk. Alright, so they're a legit knight. And they're a legit knight, so that means that this is a lie. Okay, there we go. Alright, so that is a lie. Right there. So this bard is either the drunk... or they're evil. So let's go ahead and shoot the bard. And it's a minion. Alright, so now this Slayer is legit. Hey, how's it going? This is Doonesy. DK Beezy. I love it. That's what all my friends call me. How you doing? How you doing? Let's see here. So Slayer kills minion, confirming this. That's a lie. This is saying closest evil is counterclockwise, which seems pretty unlikely. Evils are not adjacent to each other. It's saying number 4 is good. Number 5 is a real enlightened. And then... let me go ahead and use this Slayer on you. Alright, couldn't kill number 5. Maybe I should have used a Slayer on this one, but I don't know. Let me think here. So, the Knights are legit, so they're either a Doppelganger pair, or they're the Shaman pair. At least one of the Slayers is good. Hey, how's it going? And I had a conniption when I didn't hear it's your boy DKP after. Absolutely. It's my catchphrase, you know? I'm on YouTube. I have to have a catchphrase, apparently. You know, honestly, though, that's just what I say in my normal day-to-day life when I see people. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I mean, I don't say it's your boy, my real name. That would be weird. But I always say, how's it going? Pavlov-type beat, absolutely. That'd be hilarious, though, if I just went up to people and was like, I mean, my name isn't Matt, but I was like, hey, how's it going? It's your boy Matt. Like, every time I run into somebody in person. That'd be a good time. I gotta start doing that. Alright, closest evil is counterclockwise. You know what? This gives us a lot of info. Enlightened, alright, so that's good. Okay, so there we go. So this is true. And you're good. Okay. And this is ambiguous, I guess. This is saying number 4 is good. So we got a lot of goods right here. This is saying closest evil is counterclockwise. So that means that you have to be evil. Poet has to be evil right here. Which means that because that's a lie, evils are not adjacent to each other. You have to be evil as well. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright, I probably got one more in me for the night. And then I will be logging off, probably. But it's been good hanging out. I just wanted to play a little bit of this game on stream. Somebody left a comment that was like, hey, you should play on stream so we can ask you questions or whatever. I was like, okay, I could do that a bit. Want to do some more blueprints soon, and I want to also do Voices of the Void, because I've really wanted to play Voices of the Void. It seems like a chill, creepy, vibey kind of game, and I want to give it a whirl. Alright. We got Puka, we got Counselor, which means that there are 2 outcasts rather than 1. Wretch, Drunk, Plague Doctor, Architect, all that goodness. Alright, right side is more evil, apparently. This is saying right side is more evil as well. Is there a doppelganger? There's no doppelganger. So, one of them has to be evil, but they're both saying the same thing. Which is interesting. Alright. Plague Doctor. We got Alchemist saying that they cured 1 corruption. And then Bishop 286. Alright, so 286. So this has to be true, actually, because it includes an outcast claim. So this is true, and this bishop is good. And let's see. So 2, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Slip you over. We have 2 of them in there. So that means that the alchemist actually has to be confirmably good. Just like that. And let's flip you over. 1 is evil. 4, 5, or 7. 4, 5, or 7. We'll flip you over. We got a knight. Okay. What causes corruption on here? Plague Doctor causes corruption. That's about it. Ends up being more hilarious than creepy sometimes. Yeah, I've seen... the way I found out about it was I watched some of Joel's, like, Varg Skelthor or whatever. I watched some of his earlier streams of it, so I haven't really kept up with it, but my initial introduction to it was from him, and it looked like a pretty amazing game. It's like one of those indie games you can tell that the creator put a lot of heart into, you know? Which I enjoy. Alright, here we go. We had 4, 5, or 7 with evil, according to the Empress right here. He's saying I cured 1 corruption. They themselves could be corrupted, though, technically. Or drunk. Yeah, the Marcianito. Yep, that was a classic moment, an all-timer. Let's see. I'm going to use the Plague Doctor to check the Alchemist real quick. He's not corrupted. Okay, according to the Plague Doctor. Which could be lying if there's a drunk in play. Right side more evil, right side more evil. So, okay, let's try to figure this out, right? They're both saying that the right side is more evil. So how does that happen? How does that happen? They could both be evil, claiming the same character. One of them could be drunk and one of them could be evil. Or one of them could be legit, one of them could be evil, and the Plague Doctor is corrupting one of them. But this one's within range of the Alchemist. I'm going to go ahead and kill here. Alright, Counselor. Alright, well, there you go. Easy enough, easy enough. Alright. Okay, I said I was going to do one more. You know what? Okay, one more. What's one more between friends? If Alchemist is legit, can you stab the knight? Yeah, I would be able to stab the knight and they wouldn't have died, but you risk just, like, insta-dying. So I gotta make sure that's all good. Let's see. So, Puka, Counselor, Drunk, Wretch, Bombardier. Alright, this is the last one. For real, the last one. I'm addicted to this game, but I gotta go do some other shit. Puka, Counselor, Drunk, Wretch, Bombardier. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, here we go. Number 1, Oracle. Number 4. Number 3 is the Counselor. Alright, well, there we go. Baker, I'm the original Baker. Alright, confirmed good. Confirmed good boy. Okay. Slayer. Baker, I was the Oracle. Confirmed probably pretty good. And that means that both of these are something. Something's wrong with both of those, I think. Unless this Baker is corrupted, actually. How could that Baker get corrupted, is what I'm wondering. They could be the Drunk? No, because, No. They're, one of these two could be the Drunk and one of them could be evil, but there has to be at least one evil between these two, I think. So, let's go ahead and, couldn't kill that. Okay, so let's go ahead and check. Let's see here. Could be Counselor. Could be the Counselor. I was an Oracle. Let's see. So let's do... And... There's one evil, alright. Nope, okay. So, that was a lie right there, which means that you've got to be evil, right? Yeah, that's the Puka, okay. Oh, okay, I see, that's why. Alright, this Puka, I forgot the demon was the Puka. My bad, I'm trying to go quick. And so that was poisoning this, which meant that that's why this Dreamer could not become the new Baker, because this one was poison. Okay, which means that this was not the Oracle, because it's lying from the Puka. This is a lie as well, that 4 or 3 is the counselor. The dreamer is saying that number 5 could be the counselor, and this one tried to kill the puka and couldn't. And couldn't be corrupted other than being the drunk. So, there we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, I said that was the last one. I'm gonna honor my past self's wishes. I'm gonna wrap it up here. But thanks you guys for watching, for tuning in. I thought I'd just do a quick little stream. Play a little bit of this game, but I'll catch you all later, alright? I hope you all take it easy. I'm going to try to get back into making some more main channel videos as well. I've been kind of sloughing on that shit. Want to get back into the gambling analysis. I want to do more just kind of gameplay analysis as well. And yeah, we'll see what's up. But hope you all have a good chill evening. And talk to you all later. Bye-bye.